Coming up on the Sports Desk, prep athletes accept NCAA scholarships all over town, prompting a cameo from the mayor. And at North High, the celebration has more to do with hard work in the classroom than the win-loss column. And then there was one. 5 football squads in town reached the postseason. Only one lives to play another day. Is it the West Warriors, or was a perfect regular season the end to their 2014 mojo? Plus, these little ones are already learning life lessons that will last well after they walk off the field. All that plus scores and highlights from Torrance's sports scene. The Sports Desk starts right now. How's it going, Torrance? Welcome to a new week on the Sports Desk. I'm your host, Wan Hernandez. All season long, the West Warriors have been told by head coach Greg Holt their perfect record was getting wiped out on Friday nights. Come Saturday morning, they'd have no wins and no losses all over again. And finally, after the most dramatic game of the year, close out a perfect 10-0 record. For the first time since August, the records actually did reset to nothing and nothing. West's first postseason date, a matchup with Santa Monica, slip up, and they'd have nothing to show for that perfect record win, and they get to play again. So, to Peterson Field we go. First quarter, Brett OG going to slip around the corner here and in for a TD. First points of the night, Warriors lead 7-0. Same score, still in the first. Samo freshman, big kid up here, Isaiah Johnson, going to drop back. He heaves it downfield and finds Malik Atchison. The Vikings score, but they're going to miss the PAT, and the Warriors keep a 7-6 lead. Second quarter now, same score. Trevor Mallett tosses it up himself. He finds Dale Rouse running right under that. Rouse's first TD of the day gives West a 14-6 lead. Closing out the second half now, same score. Samo driving, looking to come back. Blocked. Bobby Fujioka scoops it up. 82 yards, he gone. A 10-point swing, giving West a 21-6 lead going into the half. Third quarter now, opening drive. Jackson Ferentinos going to pick off another Isaiah Johnson pass. Ferentinos bobbing and weaving, and he's deep inside Viking territory. Very next play from scrimmage, Brett OG has a huge hole for his second TD of the night, but oh wait, you saw some yellow in there. That's going to get called back, which actually proved to be very costly because next play, Trevor Mallett under pressure, and that dying duck finds Malik Atchison. He intercepts it, and he's going to go 86 yards himself for the TD. The Vikings back in this one. After another missed PAT, the Warriors keep it at 21-12 with the lead in the third quarter. All the way up to the fourth quarter now, and the Warriors are leading 27-18. And Dale Rouse closing out his big night. He intercepts Johnson, and now he is going to go 55 yards for the score, his third TD of the night. That puts the game out of reach, and the Warriors go on to win this one 34-18.
This is the first time all season you actually are, well, second time all season, you actually are 0-0.
Yeah, that's right. So we're 0-0. You know, I don't know who we're playing right now. You know, you got to not care too much. The only thing is if Calabasas beats Buena, we're at home. And if Buena wins, we got to travel. So that's a big deal. I'd much rather play here in front of the crowd and see if we can't get a big crowd. But you're right. We're going to preach 0-0, and we're going to do it all over again.
It's been a big night from somebody different every week lately. In week 1 of the playoffs, Dale Rouse comes up with 2 receiving TDs and the pick 6. That sets the table for a second-round matchup with Calabasas. The cherry on top of that is the Warriors do get to stay home. A win over Calabasas at Peterson Field will make it the 3rd consecutive year Greg Holt has led this program to a CIF semifinal appearance. Also something to look out for, it sets a possible semifinal matchup with one of their least favorite schools on the planet, Palos Verdes. After a regular season of taking care of business now, we've asked Coach Greg Holt what is special about this year's Warrior squad over and over. Whether they were blowing schools out or eking out a win with a last-second blocked field goal, they always came out on top. Most often, the answer was, we don't always have the greatest practices, but come Friday nights, this squad shows up to play. But this week, it turns out all you got to do is win a playoff game, and the coach speak goes out the window.
You know, everyone wants to know how do you keep these guys grounded, you know. Some guys, sometimes you don't want to ground them, you know. You want to keep them flying. Some of these guys, they got this swag about them, and you want to keep them swagging. So I never thought I'd say that.
Admittedly, I never thought I'd hear him say it either. Of all the coaches in Torrance's 6 football programs, 1 JUCO, 4 public schools, and 1 private school, Greg Holt is probably the last person you'd expect to drop the word swag in a post-game interview. But apparently it's the key to the Warriors' red-hot season.
There's something about, you know, playing with confidence.
What is the swag? I mean, give me a couple examples.
You know, guys with, you know, attitudes that think they're better than everybody else. And you know, it's been working.
Right now, that's how they're
it's
playing.
Sometimes it's hard to practice and monitor and get guys to do what they're supposed to do, but they understand what we want. They understand that they have some attitudes, but I'm not saying that in a negative way. They got an attitude where they're cocky. And, you know, sometimes it works out.
Correction. In 2014, so far, it always works out. The Warriors had plenty to be confident about heading into the postseason. They'd been ranked number 1 in CIF's Western Division since the season kicked off. They've scored less than 30 points just once all year, and only once did they win by less than a 14-point margin. In fact, their average margin of victory heading into the second round of the playoffs stands at 23 points a game. That puts some pep in any team's step.
We just got egos out here on the field. All of us athletes, the players, the O-line, D-line, defense, everyone just wants to shine. So we just know Friday night comes around, put everything got on the field because, you know, it might be your last game.
According to Dale, Coach Holt even gave it a swagged out name.
The Class 215, that's what he called it, the swag group. And, you know, we're not too worried about that, but we like to look good, and the most important is to play good.
So no more need to ask what's the key to the Warriors' success in 2014. In the words of Greg Holt himself, they've got this swag about them, might as well keep them swagging.
With 4 more Torrance schools in the CIF playoffs, there was still plenty of football not being played in town, with North, South, Torrance, and Bishop Montgomery all dealt first-round road games. First up, North took a drive out to Simi Valley, and Mike Juarez scores a pair of touchdowns, but the Pioneers were too hot to handle. The Canyon League champs are just the second team to score more than 3 touchdowns against North's defense. In fact, North opponents averaged scoring just 17 points a game before the playoffs. Simi knocks out 45. The only other school to score more than 20 against North High this year was West in their 49-35 Pioneer League win. The Torrance Tartars suffered a heartbreaking end to their season. The Tartars held a 4-point lead going into the fourth quarter and led by 3 points in the final minute before Oxnard scored the game-winning touchdown with 39 seconds remaining. In their last-ditch effort to rally back, the Tartars were intercepted with 9 seconds left, putting an end to their season. Tyree Harris had 185 yards and broke free for a 65-yard TD, but the Tartars fall 28-23. It's a rough night for most of Torrance. South loses to Ventura 49-7. Gabe Zuniga went down behind center in the first half, and the Spartans were left without their signal caller the rest of the way. They mustered just 1 TD in the second half, but that was all she wrote. Even with the first-round playoff loss, the Spartans cap off a massive improvement from their 2013 season in which they went 2-8. The Spartans won their first 4 games of 2014, and they finished with a winning record to bounce back. Finally, Bishop Montgomery suffers the same fate as most other Torrance football programs. Napomo runs away 58-7. The Knights get on the board in the second quarter, but they go into the half trailing 28-7. Napomo exploded with 30 third-quarter points to complete the blowout. Bishop has made playoff appearances every season under Ed Hodgkiss, but Hodgkiss ends 2014 still looking for his first playoff win. All right, everybody, coming up, it's that time of year where some student athletes declare their next level destinations. We meet 6 North High students heading off to do big things after they walk the stage in 2015.
Winston, just one more inning, Grandma.
Ever notice how many things today kids can do without actually moving? A whole lot of things their parents used to do the hard way. So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part, which makes exercise even more important for children. In fact, new research tells us the best time to enhance bone development is during childhood and adolescence. And just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Healthy bones come from healthy habits. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello.
Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
A public service message on building strong bones for kids from the Pediatric Orthopedic Society of North America and the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
Hi, welcome back. Jumping back into the CIF playoff picture, West football isn't the only Torrance squad enjoying some postseason success. From the tennis court, the South Spartans took down the Bishop Montgomery girls in a semifinal matchup before winning the school's first CIF tennis title with a win over Riverside Poly. The Division IV champs were led by the Yankee Harris doubles team, who swept their sets 6-2, 7-5, and 6-4. Ending a streak of 3 CIF semifinal losses for the Spartans. So, congratulations to the South girls tennis team on a CIF championship. Also looking to bring a CIF crown to the South campus is the Spartan volleyball team. Another year, another trip to the CIF semifinals for Coach Kush and company. They beat Arroyo Grande in the quarterfinals in 5 games. Outside hitter Carly Eastley suffered a concussion in the Spartans' second round matchup against Chadwick, so junior Michaela Clark stepped in her spot and contributes 17 kills. The Spartans fight off elimination twice in the quarterfinals after falling 2-1, setting up their home semifinal match against Esperanza early this week. North Torrance had hoped to stay on course for a North-South finals matchup in the 2AA bracket. They fall to Bria Olinda in the quarterfinals in 5. Sabrin Roberts produced 26 kills and 25 digs. Teammate Sophia Matheny had 17 kills and 13 digs of her own, but both big performances come up just short. The Saxons fall behind, dropping the first 2 games, then mount a massive comeback to force 5, but eventually lost on the road in the deciding game. Now, with 2 rough playoff losses on the North High campus, it was certainly a tough way to end the week, but it certainly wasn't a bad week for the Saxons overall. In fact, 2 of the athletes on that CIF quarterfinal volleyball team had plenty to celebrate. Mayor Patrick Fury paid a visit to North High to recognize a group of student athletes, parents, and friends gathered in Saxon Hall, while 6 athletes signed their letters of commitment to college universities, where they'll continue their various careers on the court, the field, the pool, and the fairway. Mayor Fury gave some encouraging words to the 6 Saxon ladies, with North High teachers taking the moment to remind those in attendance of the hard work these ladies put into their studies in order to be awarded athletic scholarships.
Make us proud so that we see you come back when you're finished your college careers, whether you go into the professional line or you come back to Torrance. You'll be welcome back. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the hard work.
My biggest support is definitely my dad. He goes to all my games, all my tournaments, all my practices. He makes sure I'm there on time and they're prepared and everything.
I'm going to carry the name along with me with the diploma. I can do greater things. And the athletic program there is amazing. They're there to support their athletes all the time.
Before Haley takes off for Dallas, she'll be teeing off against the best in the state at Red Hill Country Club this week. She'll be on the first tee box only a half hour before Torrance starter Nina Navia in the 14 group tournament. Navia and Tigret are 2 of just 3 South Bay golfers advancing to the state tournament, with Redondo's Robin Ree advancing with them. Navia and Ree finished the state regional tied with 2 other golfers in first place, notching a 4-under par 68 at Arrowhead Country Club last week. Haley finished in the top 10, only 3 strokes behind the lead, with a 1-under 71. In total, just 9 state tournament berths were awarded from Fresno to San Diego, so this was no gimme putt for the Torrance athletes to qualify for a state tournament. Meanwhile, it was a busy week on the El Camino College campus as well. The Warriors had a ridiculous streak to hold on to and entered the week with a chance to take their 5th consecutive conference title. That was crossed off the to-do list right away with a sweep over LA Harbor. It clinched the Warriors' 15th conference title under head coach LaValle Pattison and 26th in the program's history. A couple nights later, they dropped their next 2 games on the road at Mount Sac. The back-to-back losses marked the first time anybody in the SEC beat Elko to 25 in 36 games now. 12 consecutive conference matchups dating all the way back to a non-conference 3-1 win over Cyprus. The Warriors rally back in the next 3 though, so technically they still have that perfect conference record intact as your 2014 South Coast Conference champs. And on the pitch, the Warriors take their first conference title in 23 years. They closed out the week needing a draw against Cerritos to lock up the title. That's exactly what they got. It was the 10th draw of the season at Elko and 6th in conference, meaning they still have lost just once all season. That was a conference opener loss to Mount Sac on September 30th. Elko kicks off the playoffs at home this weekend with the regional playoffs wrapping up just after Thanksgiving. Now, things weren't so exciting from the gridiron this fall. Elko finishes off their football season with a 3rd consecutive loss. They fall to 1-5 against the NCC, and they lose by more than 20 for the 2nd consecutive week. They gave up 21 points in the first quarter of this one, and Long Beach never looked back. Devontae Jenkins closes out his Elko career with a Megatron day, 10 catches, 151 yards, 2 TDs. The Warriors did score 19 fourth quarter points, but the hole was far too deep to dig out of, and the Warriors finished the season 3-7 overall. All right, everybody, coming up, it's not all prep sports and postseason highlights here. We go to the Diamond next, where the Torrance Girls Softball League is teaching them more than just fielding drills.
Trash, cigarette butts, grass clippings, leaves, and pet waste in the gutter are all potential sources of stormwater pollution. Sweep it up, don't wash it down. RecycleTorrance.org. Whenever you change your used motor oil and filter, make sure to recycle them. It's good for the environment and it's good for you. Earn up to 40 cents per gallon by recycling your used motor oil. RecycleTorrance.org.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Hi, welcome back. The Torrance Girls Softball League has been sharing the game with young girls in the South Bay for years now. Growing up, most of us played sports and remember learning the ins and outs, but as Colin Kushner reminds us here, what's most important are the life lessons learned on the field.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's Saturday morning at the Levy Fields, and the Torrance Girls Softball League is in its final weeks of the fall season. For these girls, it's not just fielding ground balls and hitting line drives, but it's what Coach Ted Holloway and the rest of the coaches at TGSL teach these girls on the field. That's so important.
He's taught us like loyalty and how to be how to listen to your parents a lot. And if you don't listen, you're never going to become as good as you are right now.
Listening to your coaches as like listening to your teachers and stuff.
Sportsmanship. So like when we're high-fiving and you lose, you don't always want to hit hard, you just want to hit soft, and you can't do like a knuckle.
It's these lessons that these 7, 8, and 9-year-olds will take with them as they grow up. For former TGSL President Steve Elder, this is something he knows all too well.
I played college volleyball and won a national championship. I don't ever think of that, but maybe once every other year. But the life lessons that I learned to achieve that, I use every day. These are the young ladies that are going to be here running this place, being a part of our city, our society, long after old cranky guys like I am are gone. So yes, they're learning life lessons.
It can be a win or a loss, a clutch hit or strikeout. No matter what the outcome is, these girls are building memories that will last a lifetime.
The most important part of this league, it's all about recreation. they're making memories that they'll remember forever. And they'll remember their coaches. They'll remember that hit for the rest of their life.
Reporting for the Sports Desk, I'm Colin Kushner.
If your little one can't wait to get on the field this spring, early registration is still open at tgsl.org until Christmas Day. There will be a player evaluation for the spring season on January 3rd and 4th at Levy Fields before the player draft on January 12th. All right, everybody, that's going to close out the books on another week with the Sports Desk. As always, we're available on Facebook if you want to peek at what we're doing throughout the week and which games we're featuring. Facebook.com SportsDesk TV, or if you'd like to email the show, it's the sportsdesk@torranceca.gov. Okay, like I said, that wraps it up. We will see you next week. Have a good one, Torrance.